Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the stream. It is 3 o'clock on Sunday, January 24th, 3 p.m. Eastern. It is 9 p.m. Central European time. We've got a great matchup for you today for 7-point Singleton. We've got two players from France who are playing in the match for the January 7-point Singleton League. These are the knockout rounds, and we're looking for some good action today as well. For those of you who are just joining me for the first time, welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. You can watch me every single Tuesday night. I play 3 rounds of Old School Magic with the Northern Paladins as part of the Tuesday night gauntlet. So Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're in Europe, Central European time, it is pretty late for you. I mean, that's 2 in the morning. I would appreciate it if you could stop in, but obviously you can watch a replay or whatnot. So don't forget to follow, turn on those notifications so that you know when I go live. Just a couple of things, just so we're aware. We're just going to go over a quick thing about 7-point Singleton. All right, so this is the last month for this particular point structure. There's 34 cards on your screen right now. Each card has a point value of 1 to 4. Anything you don't see on your screen has a point value of 0. So the object is to create a deck that has 7 points or fewer from this list. Now, beginning with the February League, Moat is going to move up to from 1 point to 2 points. Lotus is going to move down from 4 points to 3 points. And then we're adding a 35th card to the 1 point category, and that's going to be Disintegrate. So looking forward to that as well. Now you're going to hear another voice on stream for commentary. That's going to be Eric. Eric is from Sweden, and he is an avid player of 7-point Singleton. We won't have a camera on him, but we will hear his voice for commentary. So what we are going to do is we are going to bring you over to the players. So welcome, players. Thank you very much for whoops. Yeah. Welcome, players. Thank you very much for allowing me to stream these games today. Somebody's got to turn their volume down a little bit, please.
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, there's quite an echo. Somebody's got the volume up pretty high.
I put a headphone, so
we will figure that out. So, gentlemen, you guys have a great game, and best of luck. And here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and
Okay.
clear.
Great. And you're muted over in the other room, right?
Yeah, I'm muted over that.
Okay,
in the other
all
room.
right, great. So, Eric, I don't know if you're watching the stream or not right now. I swiped that picture of you from Facebook of you in the grape fields holding a glass of white wine, and I've got that picture
Yeah.
of you on screen. And I put you inside the border of a green magic card, and the reason I did that is because you had that poll for January as to what color you were gonna play in the 7-point singleton. So I just figured as a joke I would put that green border around you.
Yeah, that works fine.
Yeah.
Even though I did end up going green.
Mm-hmm. All right. So real quick, I'm going to bring up each player's deck. Now, Frederick is playing a mono black deck, which is something that's been a lot of people have been pretty excited about. Mono black. You've got Mind Twist, Demonic Tutor, and Mana Vault as the point cards. So he's been doing fairly well, obviously, making it this far.
Good game.
Yep.
And then we've got Kevin's deck, who is he's playing red, and he's got a lot of fun cards in there. So it's 2 matches that are monocolored. So we're hoping that we're going to have some good games here.
Yeah. I'm actually very excited about this because looking at both decks, there are some very interesting card choices. Especially Kevin with his Orcs and Goblin deck that is quite spicy, to be honest. He has opted to play Dwarven Catapult over a Disintegrate, and he also only played 5 points. It's really interesting, and he put every single goblin he could into the deck, so we'll see both Goblin Chirurgeon and Goblin Wizard, which I think is a nice touch. Even though it's a mono red burn deck, it's very flavorful. So looking forward to see how it performs.
But opening up with a Vice is always pretty strong.
Goblin Balloon.
Oh yeah. But that's a nice opening, yeah.
What's nice about Vice, if you get an early Vice in 7-point singleton, it can be really, really good because there isn't a lot of fast mana. There isn't a lot of ways to empty your hands. But conversely, Black Vice is not very good late in the game because people don't refill their hands very often.
Yeah.
Understand.
But that is like the best start he could get, I think.
Yes, definitely so. That Goblin Balloon Brigades is pretty good. Last time I saw Goblin Balloon Brigades on my stream, it was in Alpha 40. It's not nearly as good in 7-point singleton as it is in Alpha 40, because in Alpha 40 you play as written, so it gives all goblins flying. But still, a really aggressive 1/1 creature, and it can gain flying.
Yeah. We'll see if Frederick has a play here, because if he don't, I think this duel might be over extremely quickly. Yeah. Mono Black has not yet seen that much success in 7-point singleton, so I'm really looking forward to see if Frederick can pull out a win here.
Yeah. So
it's so strong.
If we're gonna see any kind of artifact destruction, obviously Chaos Orb is the card to use it on.
Yeah.
That's a Goblin Hero. That's just a 3-mana 2/2, right?
Yeah.
So it's a Grey Ogre at its finest, but not really a Grey Ogre because it's a Goblin and it's from Legends.
Yeah. But at this point, it's power on the board.
It is. And, I mean, Kevin already has Frederick down to 8. So there's a lot going on, and Fred really needs to figure out something real quick.
Yeah. Either maybe a Black Knight, or Order the Even Hand, just to stabilize on the board.
Right.
But,
and the Chain Lightning's gone now, so that leaves Lightning Bolt, Fireball, and the Dwarven Catapult. Now, Dwarven Catapult obviously shines with the fewer creatures on the opponent's side of the table, because like Fireball, it divides, and divides evenly, but you don't have to pay extra. I mean, it only can go to go to creatures.
But you have to divide. That's the issue with it.
Yeah.
So if you have like 3+ creatures on the board, most cases you can't really do anything with it. On the other hand, it's an instant, so that's a plus. But I still think it's an. I don't really get that choice if it's a flavor issue or if there's something to it that I don't see. I'm very, very surprised that we don't see a disintegrate.
Right. Okay, so he's activating the Chaos Orb now. What do you think he's going to go for?
I'm
just get the Goblin Hero off?
Depending on what he has in his hand, he might actually go for the Goblin Hero.
Twitch chat is telling me that Kevin really, really loves flavor. Showing the orb to the camera. Nice hit.
Very nice flip.
Goblin Hero's gone. Okay, so that gets those 2 points off the table, and the fact that Kevin only has 2 cards left in hand is pretty decent for Frederick.
Yeah. Question though is if he has a follow-up play here.
I hope he does. Hope he can play something.
Otherwise he's still at 6 cards, I think, and the Vice.
Oh, here we go. All right, Demonic Tutor. Well, that doesn't help a lot.
Oh, it usually helps in the end, but it's going to be 2 more damage from the Vice at least.
Right. Unless he gets a mana source here.
But he's played a land already, and I don't think he has. We don't have any 0 mana spells.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have a Lotus, and he doesn't have a Mox Jet, so I'm not exactly sure what he tutors for here.
Me neither. Maybe I'm thinking either if he wants to go on a more defensive route and get like a Black Knight, he could also get perhaps a Hymn to Torak if he wants to reduce.
Yeah, so I'm pulling his deck up on the screen right now. I mean, possibly a Drain Life to get rid of something, to get some of his life back.
Yeah, but still, he needs to play it next turn,
Right.
and that's just 1 life if it takes out the Balloon Brigade.
Right.
Of course, he needs to get rid of the Balloon Brigade, but when it comes to the life department, that really doesn't help. That much, I think.
Well, he picked something. So, I mean, maybe he's going to get something just to block on the following turn.
Maybe.
You know, Will-o'-the-Wisp is obviously a pretty good blocker.
Yeah. But then, oh man, there are so many. I mean, a grenade at this point, and it's pretty much game.
Yeah, Goblin Grenade is definitely a bad thing for Fred.
Let's see here. That should be the turn. Yeah. Do we play? Let's see here.
Okay, it's just a land.
He does not play Terror in his deck.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
That would have been the obvious card, I think, to get otherwise, because that he can play as an instant.
So
3. What comes here? A Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Oh.
It's pretty good to get rid of whatever he tutored for.
That is brutal.
Mana Vault, Skull of Worm. Wow. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, I think he went for the Mana Vault, so he could have played Sengir Vampire next turn. But
so he's going to take a point, and then he's going to take 3 more on his upkeep. So he's essentially at 4 right now.
Yeah. That's a draw 7 perfect wheel actually.
That was
played his Goblin and played it as the last card with his opponent at 6 cards in hand.
Yeah. Great timing for that. Kevin couldn't have done that any better.
I wonder if there's any way back at this point.
You know, I don't think. I mean, he's got to be able to play several cards that deal with both creatures and the multitude of cards in Kevin's hand.
Yeah.
And gets him under the vice.
Yeah. And stabilize long enough not to die from random turn. So that.
Okay. Gate to Phyrexia.
Okay.
He's gotta pay one more.
Dude.
Yep, they're pointing it out.
One more man.
Gate to Phyrexia costs 2. And then Will-o-the-Wisp costs 1.
Okay, that seems weird. It seems like they've forgotten.
Gate to Phyrexia costs 2, doesn't it, gentlemen? Alright, there he goes. Okay, so the Will-o-the-Wisp can block. Oh, what do we got? That's a lot.
Eternal Flame.
Yeah,
that's game.
Eternal Flame, that's 5 damage. 1 damage for each mountain. Yeah, so that is game over.
Yeah, that's mono red for you.
Yep, that's mono red doing mono red things.
Pretty much a perfect mono red game. Vice turn 1, creature, bolt turn 2, creature turn 3, turn 4 creature, Wheel of Fortune, followed up with turn 5 burn. I don't think Kevin's deck can get a better play than that.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, that was pretty textbook. So for the viewers, we're gonna bring an Eternal Flame up onto the screen so that they can see it. Eternal Flame does an amount of damage to your opponent equal to the number of mountains you control, but then half that damage to you. So it was 4 mana. It was end up being just a little bit better than a Psyblast in that situation. So that was really, really good. And you had to expect that with drawing that many cards that Kevin was going to draw something that was going to basically win him the game.
Yeah.
So much pressure early. All right, so let's update the game score. Now, one thing about 7-Point Singleton is that the matches in between go pretty quickly because of the fact that there are no sideboards.
Yeah. Which actually
Fascinating in chat says, do you need to regenerate with Will-o-the-Wisp before blocking if you want to survive a 1-power attack or higher, or can you regenerate after combat? You just need to regenerate at some point in time before the damage step of combat. So at any point in time before the damage step, you can throw that regeneration shield on there. So you can do it before combat. You can do it before you block, you can do it after you block, but it has to be before the damage step. Because once that damage step happens, the very first thing in the damage step is that all creatures are dealt damage simultaneously, and then regeneration effects happen as well. So, and prevention effects happen as well. So, if there's no regeneration shield, then it doesn't stick around. So it's not like the old days, when 6th edition rules first took hold, where damage would go on the stack and you could regenerate then. Nope, you got to regenerate before it takes the damage or before it would be destroyed. So it looks like Kevin, who's going to be on the draw here, takes a mulligan. So it's basically a free mulligan for him. Mulliganing on the draw is definitely better than mulliganing on the play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But because of the fact that Fred plays discard spells, this could end up being a really good situation for Fred and not so good situation for Kevin.
Yeah. I think the key for Frederick is that he needs to get some of his cheaper creatures out early in order to be able to put some sort of defense. If the game drags on to turn 4 or 5 and we start seeing the bigger creatures hit the board, the goblin suddenly becomes a lot worse. Right. I'm thinking
so
that Black Knight...
That's an orc of some sort, right?
That's an Orcish Captain. It's such a lovely creature.
Orcish Captain. Okay, let's bring Orcish Captain up onto the screen.
Flip a coin card.
A coin card, even better. Him to Turok. Okay, so this is definitely what he needed. Fred really needed something like this. Yeah. All right, so we will bring the captain onto the screen right now. So for 1 mana, you choose target orc, then flip a coin. The opponent calls heads or tails while the coin is in the air. If the flip ends up in your favor, the orc gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Otherwise, it gets -0, -2. So.
Let's see here. I am a little bit surprised looking at Kevin's deck that I don't see any Brassclaw Orcs in.
No Brassclaw Orcs? Yeah, Brassclaw Orcs is a 3/2 for 3, so it's pretty mana efficient. Chaos Orb. Okay, that's a good one. Can you target an opponent's orc? You can target any orc that you want, I believe.
See here. Orcish Captain.
It says target orc.
Yep. Yeah, you can kill your opponent's orcs with it.
You can definitely target your opponent's orcs. So if you're playing against orcs, then there you have it. Perfect sideboard card against the orc deck. There we go.
He's gonna be
He's trying it.
He's activating
even rod.
Let's see if it turns out.
Nope. Wah wah. All right. Well, that was good. That was good for Fred. Not so good for Kevin. Kevin had a very, very good draw in that first game, so he was due to lose that coin flip.
Yeah. It's a little bit of karma.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Turn 4. Now things start to become much more interesting for the black deck.
Right. He's got plenty of mana to do lots of things. All right. 3 mana. We got a hippie coming. Is that what we got? Oh, Cobble Ghoul. Nice.
Huh. Interesting. 1 point. Yeah, I think Kevin is in quite a bit of trouble right now. Actually, he only has 2 cards in hand. Of course, he has the Mace of Ith, but with the Chaos Orb on the table, seems like it might get activated. Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's see what it targets. If it goes for the Mace or if it goes for the Goblin. I think it goes for the Mace. Nope.
Ooh, miss. Alright, so here's the Cobble Ghoul. What's nice about the Cobble Ghoul is that it gets bigger at the end of turn in which any creature died. And what's weird about it is it can look back into the past. So suppose there was a Wrath of God that got played on a turn and then you followed up with the Cobble Ghoul, then the Cobble Ghoul will see that all those creatures died even before it came into play. So, Shorv, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. Alright, so that Goblin Artisan is swinging in. There's no point in blocking, obviously. Oh, Rod of Ruin. so many creatures with 1 toughness in Kevin's deck that Rod of Ruin is probably going to do some work.
And seeing that Frederick is still on a very healthy life total.
Yeah. Absolutely, which is definitely, you know, you don't want Frederick to go that late in the game. Host of H, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Shorf says, just keep on uploading these to YouTube so that I can watch them when I miss them. Well, yeah, that's the plan. It's like this one will be up there tomorrow. Okay, so Kabul is going to get that counter at the end of the turn after that Goblin Artisan's died. So now Fred just needs to worry about that Mazavith, where he needs to get additional threats on the table. Oh, okay. Shatter.
That was a must draw.
It did its job, though. I mean, it was basically a 2-for-1 because it took the Shatter and it ate the Goblin that it did. So.
And it gave the Ghoul a counter as well.
Right.
So. But
obviously he's going to Maze, but you have to check to see if your opponent's paying attention. Sometimes they won't pay attention and they'll take the damage, even with a Maze on the table.
But there was no follow-up with 7 mana, though. That's interesting.
Right.
Because
and now Fred's got 8 mana.
Okay, so we're entering a bit of a lull state here.
That's all right. 9 mana. It could be a huge
drain
point, life later on.
Big drain life. Let's see. Okay, just playing lands. This
2 mana. What do we got? Black Knight.
Black Knight.
Okay, at least there's something else on the table. So as long as Kevin can't get rid of one of them, then Fred can start attacking for 2 basically every turn.
Yeah.
Fascinating in chat says Nightmare would be sweet right about now. Absolutely it would. Yeah.
However, there's no nightmare.
There's not a nightmare in there. Sorry. No demonic hordes, no terror, no nightmare. What kind of black brew is this?
Demonic hordes is actually in it.
Is demonic hordes in there?
Yeah.
Did I miss
next
it?
to the disc.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what's Kevin got going now? Yeah, Fred's reinventing mono black. It's not your father's mono black deck, because all kinds of fun stuff, and that's part of the greatness of the format. When it comes to 7-point singleton, you're limited very much so with the cards that you play. So by you have to dig deep into the well, and you need to find some of these cards that aren't so great in other old school formats, but they have the tendency to be pretty decent in 7-point singleton.
See what's happening here.
We got a fireball. Is that what we got?
I don't know.
Split the fireball. He can 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I mean, he could split the fireball. That's a little bit too. Well, it'd be 3/3 between 2 targets right now, or he could be a larger fireball at Fred's head. I think getting rid of the 2 targets is the better play. He can't split it up and hit Fred for 2 and then get each of the creatures. He's 1 mana short for that.
The thing is that even if he gets rid of the 2 creatures with the fireball now, he is so far. There are so few cards in his deck that can actually deal massive damage once Frederick stabilizes. I think if he has a fireball at this point, either should go for the head or actually just keep it for one more turn. So he has.
Okay, he's going to fireball. Now he's trying to decide what's he going to do. Is he going to going right to the head with the fireball?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's 9. That means that Eternal Flame.
Yeah, Eternal Flame will end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so a mountain plus Eternal Flame, and the match is over.
Yeah. And I mean, he has the Mace of it, so the clock is still, and he's at 20 life.
Right. So he's going to go down to 18 here. Beltran, thank you for joining the stream. Yeah, I'm hoping that you can be on the stream sometime too. All right, so he gets in for 2. So what do we got? Okay, so we got Ragman.
Such a beautiful creature.
It is. Again, it's something that's underplayed, but it's a lot better in this than it is in traditional old school. So
in this format, it's actually playable. I've seen when you use it, with example, for like a witch hunter. Then you late game you essentially get.
Yeah, you bounce something, and then you Ragman and make it go back to their hand, or then you make them discard it. So yeah, that's definitely pretty good. Okay, so Kevin didn't have a follow-up after that, so Fred's gonna try to keep on putting pressure down.
I'm surprised he's
Blood Moon and Goblin Grenade. Okay, so that's some good information though. Like the Blood Moon does nothing in this matchup, so it's basically a dead card, and then the Goblin Grenade is the one he needs to be afraid of the most because it deals 5 points of damage.
Still, though, the fact that he's on 9 and not 8 means that even if he fires off the grenade, it's still safe from a lightning bolt.
Yeah, bolt and chain lightning are still he's not in that range, which is good.
The fact that Kevin does not play Disintegrate means that that's one less damage spell.
Oh, he drew something. Oh, there's the Eternal Flame. Okay, so that's going to do 8.
Yeah.
And then Kevin's going to take 4. Now, I'm not sure if I like that play because I would think that the Ragman would have been activated to take away the Goblin Grenade, which would have given one more shot for a potentially lethal Eternal Flame.
Well, it can't take the Goblin Grenade. It can only take creatures.
Oh, it can only take creatures. Okay. So it can't take anything.
I still don't think it's a good play.
No.
Because he now is forced to hand it. For example, if Frederick has a drain life now, you just go with everything to the face because he knows if Kevin draws a goblin at any point now, the game is over.
Bruins, thank you for the gift of the Tier 1 sub to Beltran. Yeah, so it looks like that Fred is in the driver's seat, even at such a low life. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Kevin has
Kevin has a bunch of outs.
14 cards that ends the game on next turn that he can draw. So even if he needs to take, and that was He knows his hand.
Yeah, it's the same 2 cards.
Misplay.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, so
misplay.
that's an extra point of damage that he could have gotten in by attacking.
Dragman is a 2/1.
Oh, it's a 2/1. I was thinking it's a 1/2. It's not on the screen anymore. So yeah, that's an extra 2 points of damage that he didn't get.
So he could, instead of being on 10, he could have been on 8, which would make a drain life lethal. Yeah, I don't like that. That's a misplay for sure.
Okay, Fallen Angel. Excuse me.
This actually means that he
could, because he could have swung for lethal next turn with the Fallen Angel. Had he not activated the Ragman, gotten in, he'd be down to 8, and then he could attack again, and whatever gets mazed gets sacked to the Fallen Angel, and that would be lethal. But instead, we got a Ball Lightning here.
Let's see.
All right, but he can block with the Falling Angel, and he can sacrifice something, so that he absorbs more of the damage.
He's on 1. He needs to sacrifice all his creatures.
Yeah.
This Ball Lightning will. No. We actually only need to sack 1 because he can double block.
Yeah. Yeah. If he blocks with both.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he blocks with both, that's 5. He sacks 1, so that's 6 toughness. It's like, but he can't sack. So he's not in a great position here. If he double blocks, it really depends on which order the blockers go. You know, if Kevin prioritizes the Angel, then that means that a huge Cobble Ghoul is coming next turn. But he's got a Maze of it. So yeah, this isn't a terrible situation for Kevin to be in.
Ball Lightning has Trample, and he's at 1.
Ball Lightning has Trample, yeah. But if he group blocked, the very first thing after you group block is you're supposed to assign which is the first blocker and which is the second blocker. And then you would know whether or not sacking 2 creatures to the Angel is going to save the Angel or not. If the Angel is the first blocker and the Cobble Ghoul is the second blocker, then you sacrifice 1 creature to the Angel, and then the Cobble Ghoul can end up surviving that way. Yeah. So he group blocked. So this was played a little weird, but it did end up working out. But Fred's going to end up having one creature still.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin should definitely get rid of what? You think he should get rid of the Flyer, or do you think he should get rid of the Cobble Ghoul? Because the Cobble Ghoul is going to be pretty huge if it stays around.
At this point, with Mace of Ith on the board, I don't think it doesn't really matter that much. I probably would get rid of the Flyer just because of the evasion.
Right.
And that's what it does. And then Cobble Ghoul will go to a 5/5.
Yeah.
But with
So
Mace
that's
of
3
Ith,
counters on the Cobble
it's a
Ghoul.
6/6 even. The Ball Lightning will also die.
Yeah. Yeah, so 4 counters.
So it will be a 6/6. But then again, Mace of Ith stops that. So
Right.
unless, then again, let me look at his deck again.
Yeah, let's take a look at Fred's deck.
He does not play Sinkhole,
No,
but
there
he
is no
plays
Sinkhole.
and he plays Cyclopean Tomb.
Yeah,
Those
Cyclopean
are-
Tomb would be fine, except Cyclopean Tomb can only be activated during the upkeep. So
Yeah, it's not. He will lose 1 more turn.
okay, so the Ghoul went away, which is probably the better of the 2 plays. Well, I mean,
I think you could make a case for either, actually.
right? Yeah, the Ghoul hits twice and it's game over at that point. Where the Angel needs help to be able to hit twice,
But
or it has to hit
you-
4 times. He's gonna.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got to check. He's got to keep him honest.
yeah. Frederick needs, if he doesn't die here, he needs to draw Drain Life and get back to a healthy life total. As soon as a goblin hits the board, it's over. But he drew a mountain, it seems.
It's a mountain, yeah. You can tell. It's hard to bluff that when...
Yeah. He kept that, which is probably wise. Oh, he's already played his Eternal Flame. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he doesn't have any way to get it back.
What comes here? Is it the Goblin King? Nope, it's the Goblin Hero. And here comes the Goblin Grenade.
So there's the grenade for the win.
Yeah, that's it.
And that is it. That is game over. Wow.
That is, that's how red works in this format.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Such the range.
Wow, there it is. All right, so let's go in the room with the players, and we'll talk a little bit more with them.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, that was definitely a nice little match that we had there. We were on pins and needles for that second game.
Sorry, we don't hear you very, very fine. The screen cut and the sound is not very good. The second game is finished.
Yeah.
The match is finished.
Yep, the match is finished. You guys played well. That was chat was rooting for Fred because of the mono black deck. So people in chat wanted to know, Fred, why you're not playing Terror.
It's a good question.
Il dit pourquoi tu joues plus une Terror?
Yeah, I know. There was a few cards on my side to decide if I was gonna play them or not. And Terror was one of them with Royal Assassin and with a few other things. But I guess Terror is a dead card if you play against black, but
not so many.
Yeah, and I saw it recently. I don't remember which match, but someone tried to play it, and it was a dead card. So,
yeah, I would think that there's not as many artifact creatures out there, and there aren't as many black players out there. So maybe the Terror could have been good. And then host of H in chat wants to know how good Blood Moon was for you, Kevin.
Yes, I have one Blood Moon, so I have the Mesophit on battlefield, so I keep in hand. Maybe if I have my opponent send him to Turak or other card, I have more cards for maybe discard random cards. So it was when I play the flame, I have a solution to play Blue Moon for have one mountain more.
Right.
So it will be a risk, and I don't take this risk because I prefer put my opponent to one and keep Mesophit. So Blood Moon stay in my hand.
Yeah.
And increase my hand if he play my twist or other card. So I'm.
All right. So how was it in your other matches, though?
Sorry?
How was Blood Moon in your other matches?
Dans les autres matchs, comment ça s'est passé?
It was fine only one time.
Okay.
Because a lot of deck is mono white or maybe maximum 2 colors, and it's good when my opponent play Mesophit or other cards like Street Mine.
Sure.
But not very fine mostly of time.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win, gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me to stream this match. Best of luck to you, Kevin, in your next match, and best of luck to both you guys in the February tournament as well. All right. So take care.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Congrats, Kevin.
So
Salut,
everybody,
Salut.
you can
Merci.
you guys stick around. We do have another match coming up. We've got one more match of the old school 7-point Singleton coming up. So please stick around. Don't touch that dial. We will be back in just a few moments. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you all sticking around. We do have one more match of 7-point Singleton coming up. So I appreciate everybody who is here. If this is your first time here, please don't forget to follow. You can join me each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for my regularly scheduled stream. I play 3 rounds of Old School Magic with the Northern Paladins as part of the Tuesday Night Gauntlet. So today on the stream, I have Eric as a guest, and with that, we will be providing commentary again. So Eric, it is just you and me, and we're going to provide some commentary on a match that was recorded previously between Dave Firth Bard and Sylvain. So why don't you've played a lot more 7-point Singleton than I have. Now, for those not aware, Dave Firth Bard won all of his matches in the knockout rounds. And he's got the white weenie deck that we see on the right-hand side of the screen. Is this a deck type that we see a lot in 7-point Singleton?
Not pure white. I've only seen it once before, and it also did well and went top 8. On the other hand, what we've seen quite a lot is a pink weenie version.
Mm-hmm.
That has, one of the admins, Michael Fay, has he won once and reached finals 1 or 2 times with his red-white weenie burn. Of course, he plays a little bit of the high end as well. He played a Shivan Dragon and a Triskelion, but the strategy is basically the same. I played in the same group against Dave and also played against him, and he smashed the group.
Yeah.
And the deck is so consistent that you can't really afford to have any bad hands or bad draws against this deck.
Right. And then I've got Sylvain's deck on the screen right now, so it's. It's got a bunch of things going on with a bunch of different colors, a black and red and white. So this deck looks like it's got a lot going on, and it's got a lot of answers and can do a lot of things. So what do you think about that?
This I think is actually one of the, if not the most beautiful deck in the top 8. I really like the red, white, black combination of cards. I think the issue is if there's a high risk that you fall behind against Dave's deck, but then again, if you stabilize, if you get out your Wall of Swords and can match the early aggression, then Dave can run into trouble rather quickly. I mean, the deck is so very answer heavy, and you have also this reanimation theme going on. So even if one of the early creatures dies, you have Raise Dead, you have Animate Dead, you have Resurrection. So I think the plan for Sylvain here is really to put out pressure with one of his big creatures, and then have the option of replaying it if it gets removed.
Right.
I think it's a solid strategy.
So strategies like this with a lot of the recursion. Now, because of the fact that you only get to use one of each card, these recursion strategies have got to be extremely powerful. I mean, we know that our Giving Archaeologist is really good, bringing back artifacts, specifically Chaos Orb. But then, like you said, with the Animate Dead and with the Raise Dead, just being able to bring back creatures that died, it's just it seems like it is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, any card that allows you to use your graveyard as a resource is extremely powerful in this format, much more than in normal constructed play. So I'm actually really looking forward to see how this turns out. I do think that if I were to not having seen the games and not knowing the result, I would give the edge to Dave here. I think it's any mana, any missed land drops, any missed like not getting the proper colors, or if you get locked out of one color, and it's over. Also, if Dave plays an Armageddon on turn 4. That would probably also spell the end for Sylvain.
Okay, well, we are going to get the match going. So let's see.
We'll see how this goes.
Here we go. So we got Dave Firthbard on the left, and we got Sylvain on the right. So again, viewers, just so you're aware, this was recorded earlier. This was recorded yesterday. If you are friends with Dave Firthbard, or you see him at all today, or you want to send him a message on Facebook or on Discord or whatnot, today is Dave's birthday. Dave is also a fellow Buffalo Bills fan, so we're hoping for a win in the AFC title game against the Kansas City Chiefs for Dave's birthday. So we'll see how that goes.
So happy birthday, Dave, then.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Seems like we're gonna have a little bit of shuffling.
A little bit of shuffling. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't afford the game.
All right, so while they're shuffling up, we'll show these deck lists again. So one of the things in Dave's deck that I think is extremely powerful and a really fun card is the King Suleiman, that doesn't see really any play in old school Magic, but in 7-point Singleton, it's got to shine because of the fact that there's not a lot of removal, so it's a repeatable thing that can be used against things like Serendib Afreed, Serendib Jin, Mahamadi Jin, we got Urnum Jin, and even Juzam. So I'm assuming that all of those creatures are going to see play from time to time. So having an easy way to deal with them without having to use your swords to plowshares.
Yeah.
Old School Guard in chat says, "Hail to the king, baby." Yeah. So one thing to note, if you guys didn't see the stream, the Walk stream the other day, looks like somebody joined in for a moment that shouldn't have been there. If you didn't see the Walk stream the other day, I played against Dave in 7-point Singleton, and I did beat him 3-0. So he is not unbeatable, but he did have some mana issues a couple of those games. And I just got to say that thank you to Brian Weissman, because the deck that I used was his idea, and the giant tortoise was absolutely amazing against DFB's deck because of the fact that it's a 1/4. It never has to turn sideways. It's a 1/4, and it can block almost everything on his ground. So.
Yeah, and that's one interesting thing is that I still think that walls are underplayed in this format.
Yeah.
I mean, Tortoise is basically a 1/4 wall for 2.
Right. Absolutely.
But see, I mean, Wall of Air, of course, Wall of Sword, excellent. But I also think that there's quite a few walls in the Legends set. I'm surprised we haven't seen given much play yet.
Right.
But that I think is the beautiful thing with 7 points is that it's so unexplored still, and there's so much room for creativity when it comes to deck construction.
Right.
That is what I think it's like the biggest upside. There's quite an explosive start from.
So the Banalish Hero is a 1/1 with banding for 1 that's gotten in for a couple of turns, but now Dave has one of his 2 main deck creatures with protection from black in the Order of Leaper from Fallen Empires, which is going to be pretty tough if Sylvain doesn't get some additional mana. All right, so he's got a bad land, so he's got access to red now. All right, yeah.
See what comes here. Here comes. Okay, he plays Lightning Bolt.
That was good.
Interesting choice to do it in his turn, I think.
Sinkhole on a land. Okay. Might as well.
Yeah. I mean, Sylvain has quite a bit of land destruction in his deck. Fortunately, it's not as good against a monocolored deck, especially a deck that can play on basically 3 lands.
So host of H in chat asked me, did I play it next month? My first month playing is going to be in the February league, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will not be playing Brian Weissman's deck in the February league. I'm in the middle of constructing my own deck for that. Not that Brian's deck isn't any good, because we all know that it is, because he won the December league with it. However, I do think that building my own brew is definitely more important than playing a deck that was created by somebody else. I don't mind playing it for exhibition games or whatnot, but when it comes to the league, anybody who's watched my regularly scheduled stream, you know that sometimes I'll build decks that win, and sometimes I'll brew decks that are just fun. Most importantly was that I want to have fun. And this past Tuesday, I built a wall deck that was extremely fun to play. I didn't win any matches, but I won a few games, and those few games were absolutely glorious. So, oh wow! So Thomas just said that there's already 38 players registered for February, might reach 50 plus. That's absolutely amazing. That would be great. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
And all of my matches in the 7-point Singleton League will be streamed on my Twitch channel. So. The wall deck was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was. I played a deck with a lot of walls that was dedicated to my friend Gage, who passed away 2 years ago, and he loved playing decks that we called janky decks. And the last conversation I had with him in regards to Magic was about a wall deck that used Righteousness and Glyph of Destruction. So now that I play old school Magic, I wanted to bring that deck to light. And what better way than to do it on my stream? So, all right. So lots of action on Dave's side of the table. Sylvain, not so much.
Yeah, this is.
All right.
He needs to play as Wrath of God at some point here in order to have any chance of coming back.
Right.
He's on 6, so he's not dead next turn unless Dave plays one of his support cards like Crusade, Jihad, or Army of Allah or something like
Right.
that.
Well, Jihad won't do anything unless Sylvain has a permanent on the table.
Yeah, that's true. So let's see what's happening here.
Chain Lightning something.
Probably the Preacher.
Yeah, definitely not the Tivadar of Thorns. We know that because Tivadar is a 2/2 that has banding and protection from red. Animate that on the Preacher. That's pretty good.
Oh, and just to be that guy, it's actually not Tivadar. Tivadar was from much later set. That's the Knight of Thorn.
Oh, Knight of Thorn. Tivadar. Oh yeah, Tivadar is from Time Spiral. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. Tivadar is mentioned quite a lot in the Dark flavor text. He never got a card on his own until much later. Okay, yeah, well that is a blocker, but
yeah, it's an archaeologist. It's just a blocker. That's all it does. And the Preacher is just a blocker also.
But probably he will attack here with the wolf band together with the.
All right. So that visual glitch everybody is seeing is this was filmed yesterday, and it was in a whereby room, and players were invited to come in and watch. So if they had their camera turned on when they watch, then it adjusts the screen for just a moment until they turn their camera off. So.
Yes, Ben Ayish has first strike also, you said?
Now, while I do know the outcome of this match, I have not watched it until now.
Interesting choice. He didn't go with the band. Of course, he got one more damage in, but even so.
Okay, so Kifkin coming in.
One that you have played, what he does?
It's a 1/1 and
Let's see. And at this point, the City of Brass is useless.
Right. Dave's had a steady stream of creatures since turn 3. Like he hasn't missed a creature. He's played at least one every turn since turn 3. So yeah, the only thing that really saves Sylvain right now is a Wrath of God, which I would assume that if he had it, he's going to play it right now. He's separating his lands, so maybe he does have it.
I don't know if he had he must have drawn it, because otherwise he should have blocked with the Preacher.
Right.
One black. Oh, Raised Dead on his Archaeologist. All right, but that okay.
Desperate, just finding blockers.
Yeah. So basically, what he's got to do is he's got to fade some kind of pump from Dave, because now Dave untaps 3 creatures. Sylvain taps the Preacher to gain control of probably the Kithkin, because it's the weakest one on Dave's side of the table. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then so it's still 2-on-2.
He goes in.
It's not the greatest situation to be in, but at least he can throw the Kithkin in front of one of them.
Yeah, he has to block the Knight.
Yeah.
In theory, he could let the wolf go through.
He could put both of them in front of the Knight to take out the Knight and take one from the wolf and go down to 1.
That would probably be the. Okay, no, he has blocked.
So Javelineer. All right, Javelineer wins the game.
Yeah, that's unless he has an answer on next turn because of summoning sick.
Okay, so Preacher untap because there is no more Preacher. For 1 turn.
MRDTB83, thank you for the follow. All right, so that's the game. The writing's on the wall there. Yeah, so we're going to go to game number 2. Again, I really like that in between these games that there is not a lot of downtime because of the fact that there's no sideboarding involved. Because 60 points is 60 points. And, 60 cards is 60 cards. 7 points, and that's it. No cards in the sideboard, nothing else to have to worry about. So.
Yeah. And that's also another interesting dimension. Since there are no sideboard cards, you really have to think about the meta if you want to include traditional sideboard cards in your deck. For example, if you play a white control deck, you might really want to consider playing COP Red and maybe Greater Realm of Preservation in your deck, even if it might be a dead card in some matchups. With red being so strong in some matches, it can really save you.
Right.
And similar strategies like that. So that is also a very interesting part of the format.
It's it's an interesting dynamic. You do have to weigh the pros and cons of each and every card that you put into your deck. And again, it's like a chess match where you need to think about what you could possibly play against and figure out if you're going to be weak to something. And do you make the decision, well, I'm weak to this, and no matter what I do, I'm going to be weak to this? Or do you make and then obviously you hope to dodge it and not have to play against it? Or do you have an answer or two or something? And then conversely, you also think, well, if I have this card in my deck, is this card going to be a backbreaker against this matchup? But how bad is it going to be in another matchup? And that's one thing with a bunch of these cards is that you just don't know. And the luck of the draw, it is a singleton format, so you only have one of each. One of the worst things is obviously is mulligans.
Yeah.
Because when you mulligan, you have to think really hard about what you're going to put down on the bottom of your deck, because whatever it is, chances are fairly good you're never going to see it.
Yeah.
2, 1, 3.
And I mean, there are quite few shuffle effects. You only have you have land tax, you have Untamed Wilds, you have Tutor. Of course, Sylvan plays, I think, 2 of those.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, and of course, you have Feldon's Cane, which actually is very useful in this format in a control deck. Even if it's you lose card advantage, being able to get back key cards once again is crucial for many decks. Oh, that's the best
Savannah
start.
Lions, so huge. A 2/1 on turn 1 in this format is really good. So Thomas chimes in chat about natural selection. Yeah, natural selection is definitely it's a lot better in 7-point singleton, I would assume, than in traditional old school. Samite Healer.
And a factory as well.
Yeah.
That's very aggressive start from Dave.
Visions is awesome also, but nobody plays it. Huh. Yeah? Yeah, for those who aren't aware, let me see if I can bring Visions up onto the screen. Yeah, because that's not a card that...
That's a big boy.
There we go, Sedge Troll.
Was a serious creature.
Yeah, not anymore.
3 go 21 and attack for 3.
But seems like Dave is stuck on 2 lands though.
All right, so Visions is it's a new card from Legends that was just spoiled. You may look at the top 5 cards of any library, and then you may choose to shuffle that library.
I'll attack for 3.
Yep.
I'll play Plains, I'll play Creature.
I think those cards are really tricky. It's a good thing that this is a gentleman's sport, because have those look at the other player's library sort of effect over webcam when your opponent is not allowed to look at the cards. Slightly tricky.
Yeah, definitely so.
Oh, this is not good for Sylvain.
Attack for 4.
He is under brutal pressure.
So much stuff. Like, Dave's just turning the preacher and the healer sideways just to deal damage. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do this. That's not what these guys are meant to do, but let's do it. You know, let's keep on putting on the pressure. Sylvain has been struggling this whole match, and on paper you would have thought that he would have put up a better fight.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you don't draw the answers, then the white weenie deck just massacres.
All right, so disintegrate for 1 to exile the preacher.
Interesting choice.
That means that Sylvain can play a creature of his own, though. Land tax, but I mean, it's going to be several turns before he can activate it if that happens at all. Dave doesn't need to play another land.
No. And even if he does play another land, it would still
another
be
land.
weak.
He's at parity. So
You have 4 lands? Okay. Plains.
yes,
All
he
animated.
can put.
yep. So he does play the other land. All right. So 2, 4, 5.
Also, when with the Aeoli pile, he's
Yeah. So he's basically at 4 right now. So he's dead on the following turn.
It's like Copper Tablet fast.
Copper tablet.
gonna
Yep.
do it.
Yep. So it's DFB just overloaded the board with so many threats that there really is not much that Sylvain's going to be able to do. Sylvain just had such a slow start both of these games, and DFB's deck did what white weenie decks do: just come out of the gate swinging, and it was relentless. It's like let's deal with this, deal with this, deal with this, deal with this. Oh, you're not dealing with any of it, or you're taking too long to deal with it. Well, guess what? Now you're at single-digit life, and you're going to die with what we have on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any. Even if he managed to place Wrath of God here, that's still 5 damage
Right.
next turn. So
Yeah. Wrath doesn't do it. Balance wouldn't do it even if he had it. He would have to. He would have to play multiple spells on this turn. You have to be able to deal with too many things with not enough resources to do it.
yeah.
This is one of those decks where, on paper, you would think that the land tax would help. If he gets a land tax early on in the game, then he can. But even the Sarah, it's just 1 blocker. With the land tax, or even early on in the game,
That's
against a deck that's this fast, land tax just isn't going to do it. So that ends up being game over, and DFB wins that one 2-0. So that is all she wrote.
Aggressive decks.
Yeah, definitely some good decks here. So, Eric, I appreciate you joining me for the stream today.
It was perfect.
Yeah, and had a good time. I'm glad we had some good conversation, and we were able to bring this to people. So thank you very much. You have a great one. And then the viewers, I hope you enjoyed our show today. So please don't forget, if you haven't already, don't forget to follow. You can join me each week for my regularly scheduled stream. I play 3 rounds of Old School Magic with the Northern Paladins every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So don't forget to follow, turn on those notifications so that you know when I go live. RoboHack, hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So with that, we will be ending our show today. So thank you very much. Hope you all have a great day. Damage on the Stack, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining me, and you all have a great night. I'll see you on Tuesday.